All right, Cowboys Nation, let's talk straight about what's really going on with this Dallas Cowboys defense because, man, things are messy right now. Every week we hear the same story. Frustration building up, flashes of hope, but then the same problems show up on tape. And after that Panthers game, it's impossible to ignore. So, let's break this down like real fans who've had enough. This defense needs a shakeup, not in the offseason, not in theory, but right now. The first change that jumps off the screen? Blitz more. Yeah, you heard that right. Send pressure. Make quarterbacks uncomfortable. The Cowboys barely blitzed against Carolina 5 times. 5. That's not aggression. That's hesitation. On those few blitzes, Bryce Young completed 3 of 4 passes for 29 yards, 1 touchdown, and took 1 sack. Sure, that's not amazing, but when you look at the rest of the defensive snaps, it's clear this team can't generate consistent pressure with just 4 rushers. They have to force the issue. Look at the numbers. When Dallas brings the blitz, their pressure rate jumps to around 49%. When they don't, it drops to 35%. That's a big difference. The time to pressure also drops from nearly 3 seconds to about 2.5. That tiny fraction means everything in the NFL. The sack rate almost doubles. The point is simple. When they blitz, good things actually happen. When they sit back and hope the front 4 gets home, nothing happens. You can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. If the base defense isn't working, spice it up. Send heat, disguise it. Make offenses react instead of dictating the game. And while we're on the topic of aggression, let's talk about coverage. If you're going to blitz, you have to trust your corners in man coverage. The Cowboys don't like to play man, and it shows. But at some point, you have to put your athletes in position to make plays. Zone coverage with no pressure? That's a recipe for quarterbacks to sit comfortably and pick you apart. Playing more man means your corners are tested, but it also means your defense controls the tempo. Stop letting opponents feel comfortable. Now let's address the run defense, because it's just ugly right now. These run fits are all over the place. You've got linebackers hitting the wrong gaps, linemen getting driven off the ball, and no one's setting a solid edge. It feels like every team has figured out how to bully this front 7. Watching the Panthers line up in a 3-tight inset and completely outnumber the Cowboys at the point of attack was painful. The math didn't make sense pre-snap, and the play unfolded exactly how you feared it would. Dante Fowler jumped inside, the linebackers hesitated, and Carolina ran straight at the weak spot. That's not bad luck. That's bad preparation and bad alignment. Even when the Cowboys line up correctly, they're getting blown off the ball. It's brutal. Guys who were playing well early in the season, like OSA and Kenny Clark, suddenly look like shadows of themselves. They're getting moved easily, double teams are wiping them out, and the linebackers are cleaning up tackles 10 yards downfield. That's not competitive football. That's survival mode. When your defensive tackles are getting driven backward by tight ends, it's not just a personnel issue, it's a pride issue. I want to see more 5-man fronts. You can't keep living in 4-man looks when your guys can't hold their ground. Add another body to the line. Force the offense to deal with more size and chaos up front. But if you're going to do it with the right personnel. Don't line up a stand-up linebacker in a 3-technique spot. That's asking for disaster. Put real defensive tackles in there. Guys built to take on double teams and hold the point of attack. It's not complicated, it's just common sense. And speaking of linebackers, we have to talk about that group because, man, it's rough. Right now, it feels like nobody knows their assignments. Kenneth Murray looks lost too often. He's slow to react, late to trigger, and misses fits constantly. Shamar James flashes athleticism, but he's guessing instead of diagnosing. That's the problem. When linebackers play fast but wrong, it's worse than playing slow. Sanborn is the only guy who looks remotely dependable. When he's on the field, the defense looks steadier. When he's off, the numbers fall apart. That alone should tell the coaching staff something. If you can't fix it internally, go find someone. I know it's hard to add talent mid-season, but you can't sit around waiting for magic. There are veterans out there who can help stabilize things. Eric Kendricks, Demario Davis, guys who know how to read a play before it happens. Even if they're not long-term answers, they can give this group some structure. Because right now, it's chaos at the second level. and chaos in the middle of your defense is a death sentence. Now, I have to talk about Donovan Wilson. Look, he's a captain, he's a hard hitter, and he's been a tone setter in the past. But this year, it's not working. He's being used the wrong way. Stop playing him deep. That's not who he is. He's a box safety, a downhill enforcer. When you line him up as a deep safety, you're setting him up to fail. He doesn't have the range or coverage instinct for that role. Time and time again, we've seen him get exposed. Tight ends running free, deep passes slipping behind him. It's not fair to him, and it's not helping the team. Let him play closer to the line of scrimmage, where he can actually make an impact. If you need a deep safety, use someone else. Try W. Thomas. Try Elijah Clark. Try anyone who's comfortable in space. Because right now, it feels like stubborn coaching is making the same mistake over and over again. If you're getting burned weekly in the same way, maybe it's time to stop trying to prove a point and start fixing the issue. And let's be honest about Sam Williams. It's time to admit the experiment isn't working. Every week, it's the same story. Mental mistakes, penalties, inconsistency. He has all the physical tools in the world, but he's not putting it together. For penalties, for missed tackles, and barely any impact plays over the last month. You can't rely on a guy who constantly hurts you more than he helps you. The Cowboys have to send a message. Either reduce his snaps or sit him down for a while. Accountability has to mean something, especially for a team that keeps saying they want to be elite. Give those pass rush reps to someone hungry. James Houston might be smaller, but he brings energy and effort. And honestly, that's what this defense needs right now. Effort. Passion. Someone who plays like every snap matters. Because too many guys look like they're just going through the motions. This defense was supposed to be the strength of the Dallas Cowboys, the backbone that could carry them through rough, offensive stretches. Instead, they become unpredictable, unreliable, and at times downright soft. You can't talk about being a championship team if you're getting gashed by basic run plays and failing to pressure average quarterbacks. It's time to make real adjustments. Blitz more, play more man coverage, fix your run fits, and get your best players in their best roles. Stop experimenting with things that don't work just because they fit a philosophy. The season is slipping away, and every game matters. This team has the talent to turn it around, but it starts with honesty, admitting what's broken and having the guts to fix it. Dallas has the pieces, but until the coaching staff starts using them the right way, we'll keep seeing the same problems week after week. Now, let's keep it real for a second, Cowboys fans. We've talked about the obvious fixes, blitzing more, adjusting run fits, fixing the safety alignments, but there's something deeper going on with this defense. It's not just about X's and O's anymore. It's about identity. Early in the season, this defense played with swagger. They flew to the ball, hit hard, celebrated every stop like it mattered. Somewhere along the way, that edge disappeared. You can see it in the body language. You can see it in how they react after giving up a big play. Instead of fire, you see confusion. Instead of unity, you see finger-pointing. That's a cultural issue, and it starts with the coaching staff. Dan Quinn was once praised as a defensive genius. And look, the guy knows football. But lately, it feels like he's coaching not to lose instead of coaching to dominate. The scheme has gone passive. The creativity that made this unit special in the past is missing. When your players start looking hesitant, that's not on them. It's on the message they're receiving. These guys are too talented to be playing this soft. You've got Micah Parsons, one of the most dynamic defenders in the league, and yet teams are finding ways to neutralize him because the scheme isn't creating enough unpredictability. Let him roam. Let him hunt. Stop keeping him locked in one role when his versatility is the biggest weapon you've got. And while we're on Micah, let's talk about how the entire front seven should be built around maximizing what he does best. Parsons thrives in chaos. He feeds off disruption. That means more movement, more twists, more overload looks. Give him mismatches, force offensive lines to adjust on the fly. Right now, the Cowboys are making it too easy for opponents to identify where the pressure is coming from. That's why quarterbacks are comfortable. That's why offensive linemen are winning their assignments. The element of surprise is gone, and that's killing this defense's rhythm. Another issue that's flying under the radar is tackling. This defense misses way too many open field tackles. Guys are lunging instead of wrapping up, taking bad angles, or trying to deliver highlight hits instead of secure ones. Every missed tackle adds yards after contact. Every poor pursuit angle gives an offense new life. That kind of sloppiness spreads fast, and once it does, it's hard to clean up. Tackling isn't about talent. It's about discipline and effort. When players stop trusting each other's positioning, they start trying to do too much. That's when mistakes pile up. And let's not ignore the secondary. Trayvon Diggs' absence obviously hurt. But even beyond that, communication has been a disaster. Safeties and corners are getting mixed up on coverages that should be basic. Too many busted assignments leading to easy completions. If one guy is playing zone and another thinks it's man, that's an automatic first down. That's not about skill. That's about preparation. Every week, there's at least one play where you can see defenders looking at each other after a touchdown, pointing fingers like, "Where were you?" That's unacceptable. The best defenses move as one unit. Everyone knows their job, and everyone trusts the guy next to them to do his. Right now, that trust is broken. The worst part? These mistakes come in critical moments. Third downs, red zone trips, 2-minute drills. All the times when great defenses tighten up, the Cowboys are unraveling. It's like they can't finish a defensive stand when it matters most. Part of that is mental toughness. The other part is fatigue from being on the field too long because of offensive struggles. But still, great teams overcome that. Championship-caliber defenses find a way to rise up when the pressure is highest. This one keeps folding. If there's one thing that could change the energy, it's leadership. Every great defense has that one voice that brings everyone together, someone who refuses to let the unit sink. Right now, there's no clear emotional leader on the field. Mike is the superstar, but he's not the vocal enforcer type. Donovan Wilson used to be, but he's not playing well enough to command that respect anymore. Maybe this is where a veteran like Jaron Kearse or DeMarcus Lawrence steps up. Because it's not just about plays anymore, it's about pride. Someone has to demand accountability from this group. Someone has to set the tone that this kind of defensive performance isn't good enough for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's be honest, Cowboys Nation, this is a turning point. You can either let the season slip away and start making excuses, or you can look in the mirror and change everything. The players need to challenge themselves, and the coaches need to evolve. The league adapts fast, and if you're not changing, you're falling behind. Teams have figured out this defense. They know how to attack the Cowboys' soft spots. It's time for the Cowboys to fight back. Stop being predictable. Start dictating games again. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers around the NFL world are growing louder, and if the latest buzz proves true, it could reshape the landscape of the league's offensive firepower. Sources suggest that DK Metcalf, the explosive wide receiver who has terrorized defenses with a combination of size, speed, and raw athleticism, is on the move. According to insiders, Metcalf is reportedly heading from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Dallas Cowboys, a switch that would immediately bolster Dallas' receiving core and provide quarterback Dak Prescott with a new, dynamic weapon. The news, though unconfirmed officially, has already sparked excitement and speculation among fans and analysts alike. The Cowboys, long known for their storied passing traditions, could be looking to Metcalf not just as another target, but as a game-changer capable of stretching defenses and opening lanes for their running game. His presence would add an undeniable layer of depth to an offense that has struggled at times to find consistent big-play threats outside of CeeDee Lamb. For the Steelers, losing Metcalf would be a significant hit, particularly as they've leaned on his physicality and knack for explosive plays. However, the move might reflect a strategic recalibration, allowing Pittsburgh to invest in draft picks or younger talent while shaking up their roster chemistry. Meanwhile, in Dallas, the rumors indicate that Metcalf's role would be central, possibly redefining the team's approach to red zone opportunities and long field threats. Fans have already taken to social media, speculating how Metcalf would mesh with the Cowboys system and what this means for fantasy football owners. Some insiders suggest that his addition could immediately vault Dallas into serious Super Bowl contention, giving Prescott a deep threat that defenses simply cannot ignore. While nothing has been finalized, the chatter is enough to make every Cowboys game next season feel like a must-watch event. Whether this move becomes reality or remains a tantalizing rumor, the NFL world is watching closely. One thing is certain. If DK Metcalf does make the leap from Pittsburgh to Dallas, the Cowboys' offensive depth chart just got a whole lot more dangerous. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.